What is up, world? You are in tune to Marvelous Talk, man, and you got your player partners here. Big G, man, what's good with you, man? How you doing today?
Man, I'm rabbit hole living, man. That's how I do. Until the Marvel project's coming out, I'm doing deep dives. I'm looking into stuff. I'm trying to find out what I need to find out to be ready for everything that's moving forward.
Hey, man, you got it looking crisp and clean in the rabbit hole right now, man. The rabbit hole is really efficient. I know
Rabbit
you
hole,
down there doing.
rabbit hole renovation.
I know you got it living well down in the rabbit hole, man. And definitely we after our Boba Fett episode, we had some people chime in that was really happy about the things that they learned about Boba. And tonight, man, we're going to talk about some things that I think are really, really pertinent moving towards the multiverse of madness and moving towards the things that we got coming in the Marvel MCU universe. But before we get into that, man, let's definitely get into this. Hey, man, and we back with the Marvelous Talk. And, man, listen, dude. So, first and foremost, I want to jump on this train, man. And I definitely want to say some stuff, man. Everybody is going back watching the older movies because we don't have anything that came out. So, everybody's watching, the Eternals. Everybody's watching Hawkeye. Everybody's watching Spider-Man. If you can, you went back to the movies and watched that a couple of times. Man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I sat back and I started watching Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started watching Endgame, and one of the things that I saw, and I'm thinking to myself, and I think I've said this before, was Thanos thinking about the Eternals and didn't want the Eternals to actually? He didn't want the Celeste be born out of the planet, and if he cut half of the life there, guess what won't be able to be born?
Yeah, a celestial.
A celestial,
yeah.
Right? So, I mean, what's your thought process on this, G? I mean, think about it. What's your thought process? Do you think Thanos was trying to prevent the sun? Because I mean, he does have a foul with the Celestials. He don't really like them. So, what do you think, man?
I mean, I buy into the theory because the issue is this, is that Star Fox, who we saw at the end of the Eternals, is Thanos' brother. Star Fox was the one who could commune with the Celestials, just like how Ajax was at first, and she passed the torch. Star Fox was playing with that little ball, and remember in the Eternals, they said, we got to go out and find other Eternals like us throughout the universe. So Thanos might have been upset because he is an Eternal. He's just got a deviant gene. Thanos and his brother Eros, who is Star Fox, might have been on it from the beginning and like, okay, I'm not just eliminating half the population on the planet that they come from. I'm not just eliminating half the population on the planet Earth. I'm eliminating half the population throughout all of the universe to basically throw a monkey wrench in the Eternals plans. So I'm buying it. I'm buying it 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think I agree. I was thinking, okay, not only is he trying to preserve life on planets, he's kind of keep more Celestials from being born. If y'all get overran, guess what? And get this. Wasn't his planet already exploded?
Well, Titan looked like it was toe up. So it wasn't necessarily exploded, but it looked like something went down on Titan. If you go back and watch Infinity War, it looked like it was toe up on the planet. Oh, the rabbit hole, something that knocked over.
rabbit hole falling over. But man, so I mean, look. So when I'm saying this, and I'm saying what I'm saying, I just believe on some point and at some place, Thanos may have been, Thanos may have been doing us a favor, man. I think Thanos may have, been trying to look out on the low, because realistically, when it comes down to it, man, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If the planet's not overran and the planet's not taken over, with people, then it's not enough energy for the Celestials to actually be born. So, hey, Thanos might not have been the bad guy after all. Maybe it was the Avengers who was the bad guy, trying to stop him from helping us.
Right. Well, I mean, but that's the whole thing that people who are casual watchers of the MCU have to really understand, that nobody is really good and evil. We've said this on multiple shows. We live in a polarized society or polarized community, and we think it's got to all be black or white. And I'm telling you, with the comic book writers, I'm talking about with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, everybody was shades of gray. They were good, bad, and always in the middle of great. It just depends on the situation. So maybe Thanos could possibly be on the hero tip or on the anti-hero tip. And it's going to be funny how Kevin Feige spins it.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to kind of spin it, but I think, Thanos actually could have been, working for the good guys. He could have been a good guy. But I mean, think about it. And what if he spun it that way? And what if he spun it that way? T'Challa had talked him out of being going on his mission to kill all the life in, or half the life in the universe. You know what I'm saying?
But Bob, let me ask you this question, just real quick about Thanos. Man, that was like a variant that we saw of Thanos in Endgame. It wasn't necessarily time travel, per se. They might have went and spun into another universe. And then that Thanos of that universe came forward because he knew that they had all the Infinity Stones. See, we've been on this whole thing about saying that they went through the quantum realm and they jumped through time. I just personally believe they went through the quantum realm and jumped through dimension. So that's where I think that where people are off about saying that in Infinity Stones, they went back in time. And that feeds into the theory that me and you have been saying all along, that when Tony Stark got to talking about the dates of his birth and all whatever else, and he backed up, he was like, wait a minute, that ain't right. Something's off. So what if they were in a pocket dimensional universe versus being in a pocket dimensional or back in time? That's what I think happened.
Could have been, Big G. Could have been. But let's talk about this, man. We got the new X-Men coming out, the new cartoon. Yeah. Man. I'm excited
X-Men
about
97.
that. Yeah. And what's dope about this now is that we have the original cast, except Cyclops, and the original writers on board. Man, talk a little bit. Tell us how you feeling about this, man, being that we're going to have the original substance. Because I have to say this. If you was watching the X-Men back earlier in the 90s, you might have got saved. It's just, for real, you there was a Christian undertone, and Beast was saved for real. I'm just gonna tell you, Beast was saved. Him and Nightcrawler, they were saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Spirit, because they done taught many messages and gave many words in the X-Men cartoon. But man, talk to me how you feel about having the original cast and then they taking up from where they left off. Talk to us about that, G.
Yeah, I first of all, I got to tell you first that Beast was collared. He wasn't just saying Beast was collared, bro. He was collared, handling his business. And who he was trying to always redeem was Wolverine. He was trying to bring Wolverine back, man. That's he was preaching to Wolverine, man.
He was trying to bring Wolverine to the cross.
Yeah, for real. But as far as the show is really concerned, man, I'm so hyped because Kevin Feige looked at the nostalgic value of X-Men, right? And really, to be honest, it says X-Men 97. That was the year that the show died off, right? So that means that was the time that a lot of people became big-time Marvel fans. So how perfect could it be for Kevin Feige to go back and reach out to those people who haven't really bought all the way into the MCU yet by letting his first project about the X-Men is to revive the old show, right? We already know from a plot scenario, a plot synopsis, that they are literally picking all up where the last episode, where in the world is Charles Xavier? So the storylines are going to tie into that nostalgia of X-Men, which even more so in my mind is going to build out characters for future renditions and also give Marvel an opportunity to do a reboot in the current MCU and maybe bring some of those characters onto the big screen because we know it's going to be canon.
So, I mean, G, I'm going to be real with you. I'm just so excited. Like I said, I'm excited to see how they do the graphics and keep the graphics kind of like 92, but at the same time, bring them into the future. I'm excited about that, bro. Like, I'm excited about seeing what they look like. And then, like I said, I mean, I have to agree with you. Beast was trying to save Wolverine, like for real, for real. He's trying to leave. He's trying to drop Wolverine at the cross because Wolverine he would go crazy.
Hey, Ma, let me drop a little nugget, a rabbit hole nugget that I found out about that X-Men 97 project, right? So the original rendition of X-Men 97 budget was $1.7 million. The new budget for the new X-Men 97 is over $11 million. So you think that they had graphics because the neat thing about X-Men 97, if you remember, the reason I think so many people were drawn to it is because you saw their powers on display all the time. Like they would have like dialogue, and the next thing you know, Wolverine sheep, or Storm's like by the winds of Westwood or something, she was calling on
Jubilee and throwing a little fireworks. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so
Gambit got me hyped though. Gambit would give me hype.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He always had a pack of 52 Decker in his pocket. So, the issue with that is that costs money to bring that even in a cartoon rendition or cartoon style. So if they was playing with $2 million, now Kevin Feige just said this thing is $11 million budget. So you thought their powers were on display before. Oh, you're gonna get a whole bunch of power stuff that you're gonna see. And like I said, it's really just gonna build that fan base back to the MCU, which I'm really so excited about. I'm already bought in, but because I've been a comic book head forever. But I know that some of those people who haven't bought in yet is gonna buy in on this one for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think a lot of people are gonna buy in on the X-Men 97. And like I said, when it comes down to it, literally the main characters that everybody want to see and that we're all missing are the X-Men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're all missing the X-Men. So you're gonna get them all. You're gonna get them all. And I think everyone is gonna be satisfied with what they get. Let's talk about KRAVEN, man. KRAVEN the Hunter.
Wow.
Now, first of all, KRAVEN, we're gonna get a KRAVEN movie. We got Russell Crowe announced as part of the cast of KRAVEN.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, bro, like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, actually KRAVEN should have been done earlier. When I started thinking about how crazy and how wild KRAVEN was. Yeah. I remember seeing a cartoon, and I'm trying to think about where was it that I saw? Oh, you know what? Batman Beyond. Okay. Batman Beyond, they had brought KRAVEN into his universe in the DC, and it was actually a flip. Okay. And he was trying to catch Batman.
Okay.
And
KRAVEN is was like one of the ultimate Spider-Man villains, just FYI. So and guess what? We already saw it. If you saw Spider-Man No Way Home, when they showed the time breaking open, the main dudes that you could make out was you saw KRAVEN the Hunter and you saw Rhino. So we already know it's coming. So we know that Sony's going to do something. And it's not tied to our MCU. It's from the Sonyverse.
Right, the Sonyverse. But still, it's they're calling it Spider-Verse. So, literally, I think it's one of those movies that I think is going to pay off That I think it's going to be big for them. It's going to hit, more than Morbius, more than anything that they could. I think KRAVEN probably should have been one of your first ones.
Yeah.
He should have been one of your first ones.
Yeah, but Sony is habitual line steppers, man. They have a tendency just to tear the frame out of stuff, and they don't put it in sequence, and they don't get how powerful they actually are. Well, but it's too late now because all the titles are back with the MCU. But the deal is, what most people are having beef and issue with is the casting of Russell Crowe. We don't know if Russell Crowe's actually going to be KRAVEN, but we know for sure he's been cast in the movie. So, like,
I don't think it's going to be KRAVEN.
I don't think so either. But what I do know and believe is that Russell Crowe, we know, has been cast in Thor: Love and Thunder. We know that Russell Crowe is playing Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. He even put out a thing on his own Twitter, on the set of Thor: Love and Thunder, Zeusing around. Come on, man. What's Russell Crowe telling us? He's telling us he's been Zeus in the MCU. So now, if he's in KRAVEN the Hunter, could he be KRAVEN's dad? Could he be this person, the Chameleon? Because a lot of folks don't know that the MCU or Marvel villain, the Chameleon, and KRAVEN are brothers. So could he be the Chameleon, which is one of the Sinister Six? If you don't know about who the renditions of the Sinister Six, the Chameleon is the guy who wore the white, mask-like figure, and he could change himself into anybody, anytime, anywhere. He wasn't as dope as Mystique, but he could really do some stuff to make you believe who he was. So KRAVEN the Hunter and Chameleon are brothers. So could he be the Chameleon? Could he be his dad? Is he KRAVEN the Hunter? But some folks really don't write that thing with Russell Crowe being in both universes. I don't mind it because we've already seen it. Thanos was in both universes. He was Bishop at one. Bishop at one universe, and not Bishop, but Scott Summers' son. What's the dude name? There was a Deadpool. He was in that universe, and then he was Thanos in another universe.
Cable.
So Cable. We saw Quicksilver being cast in both universes, and we already know that Quicksilver is going to be
Captain
from
America.
the MCU. Exactly. Captain America has been, so we're going to get it. So I don't necessarily mind it, but I know we've already seen characters cast in both spots. So, It is what it is.
Yeah. So, now that we're thinking about it, like I said, when it comes down to it, KRAVEN probably should have been the first Spider-Man villain to me that came with his own side movie. It's just so many places you can go with KRAVEN, and KRAVEN never gets caught. That's the other thing about KRAVEN. He never gets caught. Like, he may get defeated, but you're not going to catch it.
How you going to lose when Chameleon's your brother? You get locked up, Chameleon changes it, and one of the guards come in and let you out. You making it every time if Chameleon's your brother.
He's getting out. He's getting out.
Yeah.
So we have this, and we're getting ready for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And, I think a lot of the things, they've had to reshoot some things now. They're in the process of reshooting and recutting. And we talked about this earlier, Big G. We didn't see a lot of the movie on Spider-Man No Way Home.
Right.
We didn't. They a lot of mention. And then they jumped right into No Way Home. They gave us this big, huge, what seemed like a lot of movie from Doctor Strange.
Right.
How much of the movie do you think that we've already seen, G?
Less than 5 minutes. So I think what Marvel was telling us was that if you thought Spider-Man No Way Home was big, wait till you get a load of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, right? I think that they were baiting people, because now by the production that they did with Spider-Man No Way Home has just brought me all the way into the Multiverse of Madness, because I already know it's in the title, the Multiverse of Madness. Man, it might be the biggest Marvel product. We were saying that about Spider-Man. It was like either it's gonna lay an egg or they're gonna land a plane on it. And they sure enough landed the plane. The money at the box office is telling you right now, it's still the #1 movie in America. So can you imagine when this Doctor Strange thing hits and all the little things we've heard, God knows, down here in the rabbit hole, man, listen, I read a whole plot leak, and I'm not ruining and spoiling for anybody. But if 75% of the plot leak that I read, and it ain't on Reddit either, like this is from like a reliable source or connection that I have, because Rabbit Hole got brothers. We got little secret pockets and secret doors that we can go from one side to another. So I slid over to one of my dudes who's a Rabbit Hole, and he shot me a plot leak, man. And if 75% of what I read from the plot leak comes true in the movie, oh my goodness, man. So I'm really, really excited. I don't think I've been excited for a Marvel project, this excited for a Marvel project since Black Panther. I don't think I've been that excited. I am really, 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 really excited for Doctor Strange, man, and the Multiverse of Madness.
So we keep getting these and talk to me about this, because this is before we get ready to get up out of here, man. We keep getting these weird synopses, like seeing Tom Cruise as a Iron Man variant.
Mm-hmm.
What Iron Man? Talk to us, because you would know a lot more about this. So, give us some background about this evil Iron Man.
Okay, so I got a theory. And I'm not, spoiler warning if my theory is true. Let's just say that I'm spoilers for all y'all that don't want to know, right? I don't think that the Tom Cruise character is an evil Iron Man, right? What I believe is that he's a Stark, right? Because you got to remember, Kang's arch enemy is what Stark, right? Do you remember and know? Because we already talked about this. How Stark,
not Morgan Stark, but no, not Morgan, because Morgan's the daughter. It's
Amadeus Stark.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was. I knew I was gonna say Anthony, but that's Tony,
right?
And yeah.
So that's a Stark from the 32nd century, where Kang is, and we know that these cats are arch enemies, right? We also know that Stark is connected to Doom, right? Just like how there's they talking about the new guy for the Fantastic Four, Nathan Richards, is connected to Doom and Mr. Fantastic. Well, the Stark is connected to Doom as well, right? So could this variant that we're seeing as Tom Cruise, could this actually be the Stark that is Kang's mortal enemy that we see in the Multiverse of Madness? Because I'm telling you right now, I ain't ruining it. And if I'm right, you heard it here first on this show. But I'm telling you, we are going to see so many different variants of characters. It's going to blow our mind. It's going to blow our mind.
I think so too. I think, we're going to see a lot of them, a whole bunch. Another thing we want to mention is Spider-Man No Way Home is actually coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. On Blu-ray, they're saying it's going to be so many. It's definitely, we see you here, loyal watcher. We see you. I don't know what the face is. I'm trying to figure out what the face is, but definitely we see you here. Thank you for rocking with us. Now,
absolutely.
I think so. You're getting the Spider-Man No Way Home, and you're getting a lot of the 5 minutes with Spider-Mans, right?
Right.
I think that's, man. I hope we get it on Disney Plus. I ain't buying the Blu-ray.
No, we're not. I'm gonna tell you. I already, once again, rabbit hole information. I already know where it's coming out. I'm telling you, you can take what I'm going to say to the bank. It's coming out on Amazon Prime. They're going to release it on the Amazon Prime channel. You're going to have to buy it, if you want to purchase it, but it's coming through Amazon Prime. It's not coming through HBO Max. It's coming through Amazon.
Well, I know that we're going to it's going to first appear on Starz. Starz had it first.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Which is part of the Amazon Prime package, right? Starz is part of that package. So if you get Amazon Prime, you get the subscription to Starz, and you're going to have the ability to get Spider-Man No Way Home. Versus, like how you said, I ain't paying for no DVD or no Blu-ray. Not this kid.
But I do want to see the Spider-Man. I want to see the Spider-Mans. I want to see
Yeah.
the Spider-Mans all together. I want to see them together and that extended Spider-Man scene. You know,
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that. I want to see that for real. Now, G, we've got a listing of movies that have been, or not just a listing of movies, but a listing of shows that have been confirmed by Disney Plus. Talk to us about that, G.
All right, so when I do this rundown, I'm going to move fast. I might do about 6 or 7, stop, pause just a little second to recap on it. I'm going to talk about some things that we know is already there, and I'm going to talk about some things that have been confirmed and a couple of things that are like 99.9% room. Okay, like they're going to happen. All right. So we know for sure that we're getting Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We know that that's coming out in May of 2020. It's less than 90 days away, right? We know we're getting Moon Knight in March of 2022. We know we're getting She-Hulk in the summer of 2022. We know we're getting I Am Groot, which is a cartoon series, which Kevin Feige says is going to be canon in fall of 2022. The big one that I'm hyped about with that first set of movies I'm talking about is Werewolf by Night. We were told at first it was going to be a Halloween special show. However, one of my rabbit hole dudes gave me an insight, and I didn't pick up on it until I went back and I watched the trailer a bunch of times. The dude that the Moon Knight is kicking the crap out of in the trailer is Werewolf by Night. Go back and watch it. Slow it up. If you could blow it up on the big screen, he's fighting a werewolf. He's whooping a werewolf. That's what's going on. So I know from my inside information, we're going to get a lead to Werewolf by Night in Moon Knight. So that's my first little set of rundown. What you think about them, Mod?
Book it. I'm excited. I'm excited, man, because honestly, you know, you these characters are second tier characters, but they're setting up the stage. The stage is being built.
Yep.
The stage is being built, and because the stage is being built, I'm excited to see these characters play out on the big screen. Definitely excited to see them play out on the big screen. My last little question here, G, before we get ready to get up out of here for this week's Marvelous. We have all of the reason why we have the gap, and we need to explain kind of why we having the gap in Marvel releases on Disney Plus is because of what?
Because they don't want to kill their product. They own the Star Wars verse, just like they own the Marvel verse, just like they own the Disney verse, just like they own National Geographic, and it's all tied together. So because they're trying to rebuild the Star Wars lore, which was sort of lost, in my opinion, by the last 3 movies that they put out, they had to give space for Boba Fett. They got to give space for The Mandalorian 3. They got to give space for Obi-Wan Kenobi. So because of that, those shows are 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes. So you will probably never, ever, ever see, at least for the next couple of years, a Disney Plus show for a Marvel title overlap a Disney Plus show for a Star Wars title. So that's why we got the law. The law is also to build up anticipation for what we're going to see. It gives time for trailers. It gives time for people to do deep dives. It gives time for guys like me to do the rabbit hole stuff. So but this is the thing. When they do that, the anticipation just builds and builds and builds and builds. So just like I already know from the rabbit hole that they're having trailers for Marvel titles drop Super Bowl Sunday. I've heard up to 4. So, but I know for sure if you're going to count on it, 2. So you know we're going to get at least 2 things that's going to drop on Super Bowl Sunday. Man, those are probably going to be the most watched commercials, probably all time, of any Super Bowl that's ever went down ever. So, you know, they're building this thing up because, you know, I've always said Kevin Feige is a mad genius and he's trying to take over the world. You know.
I'm sorry about that. Mike is muted. You have to think about this. last year we got definitely we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know, and definitely ended up being Captain America and Winter Soldier. We got that commercial during the Super Bowl,
Yes,
and
sir.
it was well worth it. I mean, it was hype. We all got hype. So we're gonna have more to go over and more to review on Sunday coming next week, man. I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm losing it right now. I'm totally losing it. Listen, Marvelous Talk Land. I want you. We're putting a challenge out to you guys, everybody who is definitely watching. Make sure you leave a question or a comment, something you want us to talk about. We'll definitely get into that on Saturday morning when we go live on Saturday morning and we talking about the things that we're going to talk about on Saturday morning is going to be another deep dive, and we're definitely going to get into some characters because, you know, shoot, we got a lot coming up the pipe, you know, for us here at Marvelous Talk and at Marvel. Definitely, if you like what you're hearing and what you've seen, make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast for the best in your Marvelous Talk. When you like it, you can like us on Facebook, you can like us on Twitch. Definitely subscribe to us on YouTube. We're here for you and yours. And definitely another week has went by and you have kicked it with us here on Marvelous Talk. We will holler at you guys next week. Peace.